Hello, lovelies. Oh, I'm so far back. Okay. Hey, lovelies. So, last vlogs. I'm sorry because I'm saying last week, but last vlog, I put it up, I guess, and it had no talking in it. And usually I say my Patreon's name, but since I wasn't talking for the entire vlog, I was like, I'm just gonna put it up. It's so cool. It's alright. And for some reason, YouTube has disabled comments on that video. I did not mark it as for kids. My nephew wasn't there for 2 seconds. Was it the first vlog or Vlogmas day 2? It had way more of my nephew and my niece, and yet it has no problem with that video. But I checked in the settings. I didn't mark it for kids, and YouTube says there's no problem with it, there's no issue. So I'm wondering, YouTube, why you disable the comments on my video? Because that's the one I was like really iffy about. I'm like, is people really going to enjoy that video where I take care of my hair and draw a very cute, the cutest, sweetest, cutest raccoon, purple, my color, raccoon ever? And one of you guys, hi Caitlin, even came over to Instagram to tell me how they enjoy the video. So that means so much. But I'm like, why disable my comments, YouTube? So I went back into the settings of the video, and for some reason I never interfere with these settings. So the most I ever do is come here and I put in my tags. I'd never go down here ever. But for some reason, this here was on disable comments, and I didn't put that because I do not interfere with these settings. So YouTube, you in danger, girl. Okay, I'm not threatening you, but I'm really like, what's going on? Because I don't touch these settings down here at all. Okay, I don't do it. So winding down from that lazy weekend where I didn't feel like doing anything. That was bad, I'm sorry. I was still kind of woozy and kind of relaxed out from the weekend that I didn't even know what to do yesterday. So I finally opened up Clip Studio Paint. So as you saw in the first Vlogmas, that Clip Studio was having a sale, and that price was like too good because Photoshop was like me. So I just blindly went into the app to see how it's done, and I was really impressed. And then there are some things that were driving me crazy. So I opened up the app, and it has this window that pops up first, and then you have two options when you open it, which is to illustrate or to like do comics, or no, with the pose reference. Like Clip Studio have these things where you could download a series of poses and you could draw over them as references. Okay, not tracing, as references. And I find that's really cool. And I just started and then I clicked the illustrate one, and a new window popped up. I'm like, okay, like multiple windows for this one thing. So that's one thing with Photoshop and Clip Studio. You could do way more with Clip Studio. Photoshop you could do a good bit too, but yeah. So with Clip Studio, I went through the brushes because they have like 4 to 5 different tabs of brushes you could use, and I'm like, what? Because I keep pressing the B button, because with Photoshop, you press the B, you get the brush. You press the E, you get the eraser. So that's ingrained in me. That's what I know it is with Photoshop, because that's the only drawing program I've ever used, digitally at least. So I'm there pressing the B to go back to the brush I was using before, but I keep getting a different brush. I'm like, what's going on? I'm like, what is going on? Why every time I press the B, I get a different brush? And then I look at the little thing that's been in the corner, the table that's been at the corner, and then every time I press the B, I see it goes to like 4 to 5 different buttons, and I'm like, oh, so I click all the buttons, and then I saw, so it has the pen, and then with the pen it has marker, and I think something else, but I can't remember. But I just remember the pen and the marker. With the pencil, you get different kinds of pencil, and then there's the brush setting. So you have a pen setting, a pencil setting, and a brush setting. And with the brush, it has the watercolor brush, which I am obsessed with, and you cannot control. I have no idea how to control it. And it's deal with pressure, so the harder I press, the darker color I get, and the color I want, I have to press really hard. So I have to figure out how to get that color without having to hurt my hand and like wear down the tip of my pencil, because it's like, no, this isn't sustainable, no. But it's because I love the brush. The texture is like, you know, I love texture. Also, after I colored the illustration, I just did a simple face because that's my go-to. I realized there's a gouache brush. There's gouache brush. And this is just what's presetted in it. I didn't download any extra brushes, because with Clip Studio, it have like a whole library of brushes you could pay for or get for free. And there's special effects brushes, like if you want rose petal or sakura bristles or sakura petals, you can get those. And there's also the style, like, you know, because you could do comics in this program. So, you know, in manga comics, you have all these little style, like, wow, expressions, because I'm like, wow, this is so good. This is so good. And when I reached the blend brush, when I discovered the blend brush, my expression was like, yeah, I was like in disbelief. I was like, I don't have to go between these two colors like I usually do with Photoshop. Like, Mitch, yes. Okay, yes, I am all for it. Yes, I was like, okay. So that were all the good things. The bad thing now is the undo button. When you undo, you undo. With Photoshop, you can still like go back and forth, but with them, you undo, okay? That's one thing. But there is like a menu of history, right? So like if you want to go back like 10 steps and I don't want to press the undo button 10 times, you could go into that settings and just go back to the 10 spaces and it's good to go. I found out after that, but still. Another thing I found out with it is that the zoom settings. I have to lift up my pen. Well, my pen from the thing, and go to a panel on the left, on my right, and manually zoom in with a slider and go up and down on the little menu. I don't know what good. It's just a small little file where you can see the whole illustration, and I'm like, yeah. With Photoshop, you press Z, you get the zoom tool, and you can zoom in wherever you want. You press the space tool, and you can move over, and you can move everywhere you want. And I'm like, I'm so accustomed doing things like I'm so accustomed using these keys on Photoshop that it could take some learning curve for me to figure out things on Clip Studio, but I'm liking what I see so far. And it's not really much, but oh my gosh, I realized that I drew the head of the girl too close to her eyebrows because she was looking like she had no brain. And I was trying to find the lasso tool. And I couldn't find it. And I was like, this is a deal breaker for me. I make so much damn mistakes. I need my lasso tool. I need my lasso tool. So I was to go and look it up and I found it. I would not have found it by myself. I need to go and look up with a lasso tool. It's in this box on the side. I don't know. It was like really weird where it is. And then when you lasso, you didn't have to go back into the menu and click the hand to move it wherever you want. And I'm like, this is so much clicking. There has to be a simpler way. So this was just my blind test. I didn't look up any tutorials except where to find that lasso tool. It's a very important tool for me who makes so much mistakes in digital and traditional too. So that was like a big no for me, that I needed a better way to do these things because it was like taking so much time. And it was frustrating me because once you're accustomed with a program, you could do it effortlessly without even thinking. It's like, oh, I need the lasso tool. I just click this button here and not have to go in a different 10 million other menus just to find it. The zoom tool. Ugh, I need to zoom in a lot. I'm like, oh, the zoom tool. And to move the thing around the canvas. So, I'm going to find a bunch of YouTube tutorials about Clip Studio Paint because it has potential. I'm actually liking it. I'm liking the brushes. Ooh, and soon Clip Studio is going to have an update where you could use Photoshop brushes. Yes. So all the brushes that I love on Photoshop, which is mainly just two, which is my pencil brush, which I use for sketching, and then it's I can't remember what his name is, a different type of pencil. It's a different kind of pencil where I use to do the coloring, and I just love it. I just love it. The texture is just beautiful. Seriously, I think I just used those two brushes. So I'm going to do tutorials because that's how I learned Photoshop, by using it in school and watching a lot of YouTube tutorials of people using Photoshop. So now I need to do that with Clip Studio Paint. And also something that always helps me is that I do challenges. So when I use water, you know what? Let me show you guys. This is lovely. I need content. Let me show you guys. Okay, so I learned best by doing challenges. So how I learned watercolors, because I sucked at it. This is like one of my first watercolor pieces. You see her skin is like totally flat. And I can't believe I made her blonde. And I just love this. It doesn't really, this one doesn't bother me because she's a jellyfish. She's supposed to be kind of translucent, trying to see through. I love how this came out. And like this one, watch how muddy her skin is. I just don't like how my paintings was like muddy. It didn't have any dimension. It was just muddy. Let's see, the one that really got me. Oh, right, this one too. This one is really muddy. Okay, it's just muddy. And I was like, I'm not liking these. Why are they so muddy? It's because I don't know how to paint with watercolors. Let me see, where's the one that really got me to try to figure out how to. Oh, look at the next one. Look how not great this looks. I love the concept, but her skin is like muddy. It's like muddy. It's mud. Where's the painting that I did? Ah, here it is. This is the one I did where I knew I needed to learn how to figure out watercolors for skin, because you see this? It's flat, it's muddy, it's gross. I literally just put a brown color down, and then I put a darker brown color, and then I put an even darker brown color. So do you see why I say it's muddy? Okay, do you see why I say it's muddy? Okay, then I'll mix it. I'll fix it back up. And then the illustration that I did that changed it was this one. It's not the best, but it's way better. Not really, because I slightly put the red in. You can more see it on her cheeks. and that's when I like something clicked. So I followed Danica Sills tutorial about skin with watercolor, and somehow joined with Waffles tutorial. It wasn't really a tutorial, where she got watercolors in a kit and she was trying it out, and she did this illustration about this cute girl with a red bow, and then she overworked it. And it was perfect, and then she was like, eh, but just do a little bit more, and then she ruined it. It didn't ruin, it's just she overworked it. Okay, this is the next one that I did that I love. You see, the colors are way better, so I learned how to do things in a challenge. I love this one. This is a dystopian one. So the watercolors got better. Like, oh, I love how this one came out. Her skin wasn't supposed to be purple, but I went too much with the undertone of purple and blue, and I was like, you know what, that's just her thing now. And also, this is my robot. So if you guys want to see these, I have a video about where I show you all of these on my channel. And oh, let me show you let me show you our next challenge I did where I got better at something. So I never used color pencils before, and I saw a video with Drawing with Nima where Arteza sent her the 120 or whatever color in color pencils, and she made this cool cute illustration. I'm like, I have these Prismacolors here not using, I'm barely using them, so let me try it. And then Mermaid came about, and I did 31 days of Swan as mermaids. Well, a type of mermaid. So this is her as an octopus. She looks so cute. And yeah, I also have a video showing you all 51 days of this. This one, I love this one. Ugh, the light is killing it, right? It's so bright. And I gave her a friend for each one. Oh, I love this one. I gave her a friend, like a little friend, each one of these. This one is a snow rabbit, I think I was call it. And it was really fun, because each one was thing. This one is called Royal or Golden. She's royal, yeah, so royal. I think this one is Seahorse. I really like how I did this. This came out nice. This came out nice. Tutorial. So after this, I was like so hooked on color pencils, and that's my downfall. I experimented so much different mediums that when I cover, I experimented so much different mediums is that when I have an idea to draw on or what to illustrate, I'm like, which medium should I use? Should I use color pencil? Should I use watercolor? Should I use gouache? Should I go digital? Or even with digital, I couldn't do crap on the computer. I couldn't do it. So instead, Sonia, that's how I met Sonia anyway. No, I met Sonia doing the mermaid. The mermaid, she's the one who came up with the prompts, and she liked my prompts. So that's how we started talking. And then she and Vet V came up with this Which University for Inktober, and I really wanted to like work on the computer, so I work better by challenging myself. So I challenged myself that for the 51 days of Inktober last year, that I was going to draw Moonlight on the computer, and the first few were rough. It was rough. It was like bad because I wasn't super confident. I did a few things on the computer, but I never actually like drew on the computer, and I got way good. I got real good because it's just getting used to the program and getting used to the new medium. Once I got used to it, I just applied things I do in real life, like went to traditional illustration onto the computer, and it got good. And wow, it's just the thing that most of the digital pieces I did, it was, let's see, after October. I've only been drawing digital for a year and I have so much digital pieces. Like, wow. Wow. That's so hard to think about, isn't it? That I've only been doing digital for a year and I have a good bit of digital pieces. Okay. So I also got started on the thank you card for when I do my shop open. It's let's bring out this book. Okay, old sketchbook. It's of this. She's my shop owner. Her, it's all the same person. I'm just testing out different designs. She's the shop owner. She's the keeper of the mushroom friends. Okay, she's the only humanoid one, so she's like the caretaker of them, to take care of them, and she is the shop owner. She looks sweet, but she's deadly. Don't mess with her, okay? If you wanna mess with me, okay. So I'm really liking how things are going. I also tried to go into the container shop. That's what we got it. Container shop to get glassine bags, but they didn't have any. They had paper bags, and I didn't want that because next thing I'll put it in the envelope or the mailer, and it gets wet. That paper bag isn't going to protect it. It's going to get it wet. So, my dilemma. Also, I'll talk about that in tomorrow's vlog because this is like 21 minutes of me talking about stuff that I did yesterday and how I progress. I really want to get better at Clip Studio. I paid money for it. Okay, I got Photoshop for free because of school, and it wasn't the subscription. It was way before the subscription thing. So I got CS6 for free because of school. School rocks. And I really want to get better at Clip Studio, and I just need to figure some stuff out. I need to find someplace else where I could get glassine bags. So guys, that's it for today's vlog. I just talked and rambled, but you got some visuals out of it. So if you want to check out how my progress between the watercolors and the color pencils and digital, you guys could check that out. I put the links over when I was talking about it, or you can find it down below. Just check the links up here, I think. Yeah, check the links. And guys, thanks so much for watching, and I'd like to tell my patrons, wow, I was gonna say Calafia. YK, Princess Auntie, me, Harriet Shashaya, Amber Padeo, Jennifer Tabaiko, Tatiana Volta, Romare Kent, and Daniel. And we got a new patron. I'm like, what's going on? I'm happy, but I'm still like, what's going on? It's Rels. I just remember the Rels. I need to look up the rest of her name. Her name is Rels Does Art. I just thought I could remember. I just remember the Rels, and I was like, oh, the rest will come to me. It didn't. Rels Does Art. We talk over on Instagram all the time. She likes my videos. She comments, and I'm like, yeah, cool. It was so shocked to see her just pop up. I'm like, hey, yeah, I'll be your Patreon. I'm like, girl, I see you, I thank you, I appreciate you. Thank you. Thank you, lovely, so much for your support. You have no idea how much it means to me, especially at this time that I'm unemployed. Thank you, lovelies, so much for all the support. And guys, you can follow me over on Instagram. I don't know why I'm saying this, but my Instagram is struggling, guys. It's struggling. It's Swan Creates Art over on Instagram. You can just follow me over there. I don't know why I'm doing this face. And guys, I'll see you in the next video. I don't know why I'm doing that. Bye. End of Vlogmas day 5. I reached day 5.